Welcome to Revit again. This is your information for your final project. You'll create a perspective view, an orthographic elevation, north, south, east, or west, and you'll create a walkthrough. And remember when we were doing our slabs, we were doing this exercise in class, and I just drew this wonky shape here. And then the next thing you know, I said, hey, I should turn that into what looks like it sort of had the church architecture, so I changed it into a church. And so don't ever throw away any of your drawings. They can turn into something really nice. I'm going to roll this around. It was just a box. And you know, you can turn things into magic if you really think about it. I'm going to X that one out. And let's just look at the rendering that we created here. And I created a glass wall, and I'll show you right quick how I did that. You just got to go to architecture, you go to wall, and you go to wall architectural, and then here in your properties browser you can click on your walls and their curtain walls, exterior glazing, storefront. I picked the curtain wall with no glazing, so I wanted a clean piece of glass, and I did what Tato Ando does. I use the architecture to make the cross. Okay, and I did a little Le Corbusier with Ronchamp, and I added these windows. I'm going to change all of them to different sizes, so that, and change them from colored glass, yellow glass, blue glass, so that when the light shines, it'll shine into the church. Okay, so it turned out to be something kind of eclectic, and the sun will rise in the east and set in the west and go through the main chapel space and flood it with light. All right, so let's start out with our orthographic. That means straight, not a perspective. We're going to do our orthographic view. So we start out with our perspective, and we're looking at it in plan because we're going to have a camera and a view. We're going to actually be standing as if we're looking at the church in plan view. So let's go to annotate with the little doghouse. And let's go to camera. Now, if you start your camera, you're going to be in perspective because that little check over there is perspective. So you uncheck perspective, that's coming up next. And you can tell your camera how high off the ground you want. So 5'6" is the typical eye level for most people on the planet. So that's about, you know, a normal site for a building. But if you want to go higher, you just type in a number. If you want to do a bird's eye, you type in 20. Matter of fact, you're going to change that when you do your walkthrough, because if you want to walk up the stairs, you have to tell it to go 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot, or you know, you can skip 5 to 8 to 12 if you want to go faster. So anyway, we clicked on the house and we went to the camera and we looked at it. What view do you want your house to be in? Let's see, what's the most attractive view here? That's a nice looking view, and I'd like to see the windows over here, and I'd also like to see the front there. So let's just, I can't have it both ways. So what is the best view that showcases it as a church? Let's see, that's not so bad over there. All right, so I know which way I'm going to go with my church. So I'm going to go to camera, and I'm going to uncheck the perspective, remember, and I'm going to just do 2 of them just to see. So I'm going to be looking from afar across the street. The closer you place your camera, the larger the drawing will be, but you can crop it later. So I'll click it, and there is your view there. So now you can take your dots here and conform. Let's give it a little bit of a base and a little bit more sky, so that when I render it, it looks like a nice elevation. Let's go to realistic and see what happens. Ray trace is going to be a really long process, especially when you do your 3D walkthrough. Don't do ray trace because it'll click. You might have 300 frames. It'll take you 300 seconds. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's render it in ray trace and see what happens. I put trees and bushes on there, and like anything else, you can click on the tree and edit it and change the height and things like that. So I used some of the same trees. I made them some small, some large. It's taken a long time. And I put my stair in there, you can see that. Okay, that's pretty nice. I'd like to change those windows. I'll put my shadow on, there you are. So now, what you would do is you would go to your ray trace, okay, and then you would save the screen, okay? You would print the screen. So that's one of your elevations, okay. So then I hit my print screen, and I click, and then I crop. Okay, and then I crop it and I save it on the camera. Alright, so there you are. Alright, so that's it for the ortho, the elevation, and let's go back to your, let's go to consistent colors. That goes kind of fast. Okay, and then now we're going to do the perspective. Now you will leave the little box checked. Alright, so let's go back to our site. And we're going to go to the doghouse. Let's go to camera again. And this time I'm going to do my perspective from here. Okay, it's 5'6" high. So now watch, it's going to stretch out like a perspective. So you can take your perspective anywhere you want. So I want to get most of this cross and some of that wall over there. So I'm going to just do it right there. I'm not going to have too much of a wide angle. Don't stretch it out too far, unless you want to. So you click, and there it is. So that's a little bit too close. You have to stretch these out way out, and the perspective is a little bit too foreshortened. So I'm going to keep the that other 3. So I'm 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to undo this one, and perhaps my background is a little bit too far behind. So I'm going to try it again from a larger wide angle view. So I'll go to camera, I'll come way out here and then do it. Okay? There you go. So now I can adjust these and adjust the height. Let's see, can I get that height in there? Yeah. There you go. Let's give it a little bit of breathing room so that looks, there you go. And you do your ray trace. Okay, very nice. Okay, you can see how these windows could go a little bit larger, and maybe there should be some windows up here, and something that should be done with the tower. But that's done. All right, so let's, you can save those, and then you can go back to the site, okay? But you have to get out of ray trace first. Let's go back to consistent colors. It'll be kind of fast. Okay, and we're going to go to site. Oh, I drew the wall there. I went to architecture, I went to wall, architectural, and I see that circle. I clicked on it and I typed the radius and I made that circular wall on the first floor. There it is. Okay. And I put my stair in there the same way. I went there and I went to the stair and I clicked on the stair and the radius was 6'6", so I made the stair diameter 3'6" because the diameter comes from the inside. So this is 6, and then 3 feet for the stairs. 6'6" minus 3 is 3'6". So I placed this one in at 3'3" radius, so the outer stairs would be 3 feet, and I hit the check. Typically, you'll need plan, sections, and elevations, and site plan. So those are your elevations, and these are your elevations also, but those are more specified. You can do the views. Now let's do our walkthrough. So leave it in the site plan again for the walkthrough, and you're going to see some chicken feet come up. So remember the chicken feet. So go to your doghouse, go to your walkthrough. Now what you're going to do is you're going to act like you're walking through your building, and you'll walk through. And I look at the face first. I want that to be the first thing I see. So I click here, and then I might turn around and go here. Okay? And I'm going to go past the church, and I'm going to go in through the front door, and I'm going to go up the stairs. So right here, I'm going to slow down because I want to see inside the main space with the windows. Now, in order to go up the stairs, I got to start ascending. So I'm going to go up to, let's go to 8. Okay, and if I was smart, I would have done this with my floor plan on. I think I'm going to do that. let's go to your level 1. And we're going to start over. So let's go to here. Okay. So in order to do the camera view again, we're going to go to level 1. That way we can see more clearly the floor plan, and we can do the walkthrough a little bit more sophisticated. Alright, so typically what I do is I look at the church. I don't come down the road first. I let people know what they're looking at first. So I start here, and I'm looking at the church. And then I come here, and I walk over, and I give it a little, and I might even just come around here and look at that beautiful cross that I made here. And then I come into the church. You're going to need about a minimum 10-second video. And see, if I want to go up these stairs, I got to start ascending. So I'm going to go to 8. Let's jump up to 8. I'm going to go through the doors. And then I'm going to go, well, the doors are 6, 8. So you might want to start something after the doors. And then I'm going to go up to 10. Okay, and then I'm going to go up to 12. And then I'm going to go up to yes. And then I'm going to fly right through the window, and I'm going to start descending back down, back to 10, okay? Let's see, 10 feet, 6. And I'm going to click another one, just so it's a little bit, and then I'm going to go to 8 feet. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to 5. Again, I'll return back to 5. And I'll be looking at the church. There you go. And finish walkthrough. There you go. And now it's created another one for us, so double click on it. And you have the blue dots. And you can widen it if you want for the first beginning. This is a nice view. It shows the stair and the floor and the windows. Okay, so now you edit walkthrough. And then remember, the play button will not activate until you change that to 1. Because if you have 300 to 300, there'll be no video. You won't even have a second. So 300, I'm going to go up to 600 because this is, maybe I go up to 700 because this is sort of elaborate. I went around the back, remember? And I'm going to hit apply and OK. And so then I'm going to edit walkthrough again. And I'm going to hit play. Let's see if it'll do my consistent colors on a play. Oh, that's pretty good. It'll do that. There you go. I went around there. I ran into a tree. Ran into a little palm tree. I came around the back. Well, you got to get rid of those trees, otherwise you won't see your building. Okay. And we went to the front doors. We hesitated a little bit, and then we went up the stairs. And we went out of the roof, down the side. And the road's not that interesting, so now we turn back around and we face our church. There you go. The only thing is, I should have the tower should be fully in there. So if you're going to do that, make sure your tower is fully in there at the end. There you go. Oops. Yeah, there you go. I can do a little bit more, and I can move it over here, and this can come in, and I can get a little bit more over here. There you go. And now I like that, so what am I going to do? I'm going to File. I'm going to export this, export it, and I'm going to find Images and Animations, walk through. That's all right. Include date and stamp. I'm going to say OK. I know where I'm saving it. I'm saving it. And I'm going to say OK. And it's going to do another check for me just to make sure, is this what you want? So it's going to do it. So it's actually saving it to the file. Yeah, it's hesitating a little bit. Yeah, you can do the shaded view if you want, but I will accept the wireframe. If you can do this, you can easily find a way to render it and put some more cars and people and stuff on there. There we go. Okay, and also one of the nice things of when you submit your perspective, you can actually use that as a perspective because the camera is in perspective view. So you can click on here and you can ray trace it, and then so you can use this one as a perspective, and then of course you'd have to have the elevation orthographic straight view, and you have to have the walk through. So there's three things. There it is. Okay, great. So feel free to go online and explore AutoCAD and Revit. So good job. See you next time. Thank you.